So, bit of technical difficulties for me in my room. I don't have a projector, but that's okay. The tool that I'm using doesn't really require it. I'll kind of pass my laptop around if we need to. For those of you on an iPad or Android, if you want to download the Nearpod app, if you don't want to go through that hassle, I do have 2 iPads that have it preloaded, which will save you that step. If you're on a more traditional machine and you go to the web browser and you go to nearpod.com, the session ID that you need is case sensitive. It forces you into all caps, so it is RCTVU. All letters, no numbers. And when you complete those 2 things, you will see a screen that should look like mine that says FIFA World Cup. We are going to talk about soccer today. Nope, no projector today, but we're making it work.
There is one more.
This is the last one. Okay.
Maybe they heard about your session. Just kidding.
So RCTVU. And again, if you don't want to download it and you just want to partake on my iPad, you're more than welcome to. Anybody want an iPad?
What are we supposed to do if we're on the iPad?
Download the Nearpod app.
Yeah, it's not going very fast.
It was not going very fast in the last session. So
Mine says 12 minutes remaining.
So when we finish this, you will be done. So we'll give it some time. I can talk a little bit about how Nearpod works while we're letting everybody download it and getting it situated. Nearpod has been around for a little while. It used to be just an iPad and an Android app, but they've ventured into the whole web browser type aspect. So it pretty much can work on any single device. The initial setup is getting it kind of situated on your device, and then after that, it's there. It's different than other formative assessment tools because it is not just ask questions. You actually have an entire multimedia presentation built into it. So you can do PDFs, you can do pictures, you can do slides, you can do websites, you can do videos, along with all that formative assessment. And the questions that you can ask are multiple choice, true, false, open-ended. You can do drawing where you can actually have a blank screen or a picture that they have to annotate, and it captures those results as well. So if you've gotten it situated, it looks like 5 of you have gotten it set up. The other thing about Nearpod, and I'll tell this group, is you seem like pretty responsible people, but if you decided to push the home button on your iPad, I actually get alerted to let me know that you're not actively in the app anymore. Now, what we did figure out is in one of the other sessions, somebody was on a Windows device, and when they had minimized it, it didn't alert me. So I think it's not completely configured for all the individual platforms, but I know that for the iPad version, it does show me that. And we'll demonstrate that as we get started with stuff. So thumbs up if you have it installed and have the join session code input. Looks like 8 of you are there. Anybody still waiting? They're still downloading?
Almost.
Done? Okay. So the other thing about Nearpod is when you actually join the session, it actually downloads the entire presentation to your device, which can be a good and bad thing. It can be a good thing because it brings everything down. But if every teacher in every building in every portion of the district was doing this every minute of the day, I can see the bandwidth meter going. So we definitely want to coordinate some of those pieces. They do have some district-type installations that you can input, but those are some things to consider as you get started. So it looks like 10 of you have put that in there. And essentially, once Nearpod starts, I'm driving the ship, your passenger's on the ship. Your device will be controlled as I advance the slides. Your screen will change. So I've advanced the slide, and now it should ask you for your name. Student number you don't have to worry about. And as those get populated, I see Jamie's there and not Mike. I see the student list populating on my screen, and it's pretty much live. There's a couple of second delay, but not much. And so this presentation that I've created or borrowed from Nearpod is completely pre-done. I went and pulled it from their store yesterday for no cost at all. The Nearpod service itself is free, so I didn't have to worry about any of those things. I just wanted to get you some of those things situated. Looks like everybody's name is in there. As I click Advance, your screen changes again, and now you see the lesson objectives on your screen. So you really don't have to do anything except engage in the lesson when you need to engage. So we'll talk about lesson objectives. All right, we did that. We can have you turn and actually have some human interaction. Kevin?
Have you guys seen how the World Cup logo looks like the Captain Picard head? Hand in the head. Have you seen that?
No.
I'll send that around.
Thank you. We'll climb back out. So you should see that we can actually have that human interaction where people are actually discussing and they're not fully just on their devices. But let's say I want to capture your individual results. As I advance the slide, you now get a new screen. You're now asked to input some response, and it's asking you about what you know about the FIFA World Cup. And we know that the logo looks like the Bacardi symbol, the face. And for me on my screen, I can't project it up there as I said before, but essentially I see everybody's student name and I see their individual responses as well as a participation meter. So as people respond, I see I've got 9%, I'm at 55%. And so what's nice about Nearpod is not only can I see those pieces, but now if I wanted to have some further conversation about what somebody had input, so I'm now sharing a result back out to you. You don't know whose response that is. I do as the teacher. But it should say something about a soccer tournament every 4 years to determine a world champ. So we could talk about that in a little bit further. You don't know who responded to that, so there's some anonymity from the student side. I can also unshare that, and I could share somebody else's and say, is there a winner yet? Andrew?
Can you share multiple ones at the same time?
I don't believe so. So it's one at a time. So as we finish that open-ended response and I want to move into some more material, as I advance your screen for you, you now see an article in front of you. It's a website. It is from Wikipedia. Again, I did not create this. I just pulled from their store as far as what they had. And so when you tap on those things, you're engaging with those pieces. So again, that Nearpod stuff can be any portion of multimedia type experience that you want to pull into it. The other piece that I like about Nearpod is at the bottom of my screen, I have all my content. If I'm feeling like you're a really advanced class, which you are, and I want to advance and jump to another portion of the lesson, Daryl might disagree with me, I can actually jump to another section of my lesson and then advance your screen so I don't have to go through every single step if I don't want to. So now I've switched your screen up and now you should be taking a 4-question quiz about what's the World Cup. Now on my screen I see everybody's student name. I see their responses, red being right, right being green, red being wrong. I see a class participation as well as percentage complete so I can see how the class is doing. Now I don't want to challenge you, but the last class did the best out of all three. They got an 82% on this. And so as I see the responses coming in, I can see individual ones. Now for those of you that have completed the quiz, push the home button on your iPad. And so now you are unengaged with the lesson. And I should see, hopefully, it turned red. It hasn't yet. Oh, there it goes. So I see Barb, God, Jamie, and not Mike are not actively engaged as far as the names or nicknames that have been put in. So I can see that. I can talk to them. I can stand next to them. I can get them re-engaged. I can do what I have to do. If they relaunch the app and I hit share, you will get your results back as far as how you did on the quiz. So you'll see how you did. And then I know on the iPad, if you swipe up from the very bottom, you can see your individual results on how you did on the quiz. So you can see how you did. Red being wrong, green being right. So I know we're moving through some of these pieces quick, but you get kind of the idea of how those things are kind of happening. So again, I can jump to any portion of my quiz. So let's say, you know what, I just want to see what this group thinks. Who's going to win the World Cup? Now, I don't think this is completely updated, so your screen should change. It's now a poll, so I can see a poll of who's going to win the World Cup in Brazil. Yeah. Should have been who's still in the World Cup. And again, I see all those results flowing in so I can see who's done what. And then the graphs dynamically change. And again, I can share these results back out so you can see how the class thought they were going to do.
What's the left of the
We're not out?
2 minutes.
Okay. So as we jump around, again, I can jump to any portion of my lesson. Again, not doing the completely app or technology based. We can actually have some conversations. I can go through every single piece of this, and then I can jump all the way to the end. And then as far as the results go, when I get done, I can actually say, you know what, I would like to see a report of this. So I hit a little reports button. It gets emailed to me. I'll share with you the results of the last class, only because I don't really feel like waiting for that to download to me. So if you want to grab that and just pass it around. It comes up in PDF format. It's very infographic-ish, so it makes it pretty straightforward to see some of those results, to see how people did. It does not come in an Excel format, so you can't quickly import that into an SIS or anywhere else. So it does give you that report, but it's not very easy to put it somewhere else if you need to. But it allows you to make some informed decisions about your instruction for sure. Questions about Nearpod? We're still waiting for the logo to come around.
Put it on the notes document.
Oh.
Because why wouldn't I?
Oh my, should be sharing.
Very nice.
You might be familiar with that little medium there.
Yeah.
Little Jean Picard.
So how many people before today were familiar with Nearpod? A couple of you? Okay. It continually gets better. That was all for free. There's no money involved in any of those pieces. It's a freemium. You can pay for more of that stuff. But essentially, you can do what I just did, but your own lesson if you really wanted to. Right on time. All right. Thank you very much.